Pigeon Shope, Gideon, not pigeon. I'm slightly dyslexic. Gideon Shope. Have you ever had a situation where you are working with someone who is so self-important they need total control and cannot take constructive criticism? And how did you navigate that? Yeah, that's often referred to as work. Yeah, I've worked with a lot of people who needed total control. You phrase everything as just a suggestion. What you're really asking about is navigating somebody's ego. Because somebody who has total control, wants total control, and cannot take any criticism has a unhealthy relationship with their own ego. And I've definitely worked with bosses like that in the past. No, Jamie wasn't one of them. You know, there are all sorts of ways to kind of work around the proclivities of your boss to do a good job. This is the problem with a bad boss, is that a bad boss can make your life miserable. But even if they're not making your life miserable, they can make your work poor, right? Like, you have to do it the way I say. Use the technique I insist upon. Those kind of things where it's like, yeah, and then you're doing like a substandard job because they've told you how to do it. That really used to rankle me. A lot of art directors, if you show them something that's really close to what they ask for, they're still going to find a problem with what you made because that makes them feel like they're doing something. So you can run into art directors for whom you don't want to give them too perfect a build because they could look at it and be like, I don't know, I think the whole thing could be funnier, which is like the worst note you could possibly hope for. You don't want big gestural notes. Can you make the whole thing scary? You're like, oh my God. You want really specific notes. Like, hey, why is that thing purple? And this is something that every model maker has done in their career is we've all had to deal with an art director who was like that. They had to make a change just to feel busy. So you'd give them something wrong. You would make a spaceship and you'd put a detail on it and you'd make it purple so that you'd show them the thing and they'd be like, what about the purple thing? You're like, oh, I was just an attempt. I was just wanted to see what you thought. It's conversation. I hate it. Okay, fair enough. Sometimes you've got to give them your ideas and let them come up with them on their own. I have definitely ceded ideas to bosses. And again, phrasing everything as just a suggestion, just a suggestion. Bosses who need total control are frequently yellers. And if you seem improperly obsequious, they will yell at you. I've totally had that too. Yeah, I had an art director once. We were doing a Turner Classic Movies. We were doing a commercial for Turner Classic Movies, and it involved an old-timey newsstand. And the art director was like, I need someone to make me some labels. And Jamie was like, I got a new guy. And so he gave me to the art director, and she's like, make some old labels. And I was like, cool. And I made labels, and she was like, you're my rock star. And she's all like, oh, you're amazing. Look at these labels. And I was like, cool. And then I saw this other thing that could be done. And I was like, oh, I'm going to add this thing because she thinks I'm great. And I'm going to add this thing. And I added this thing. She came over and was like, what are you doing? Don't touch my set. And she like screamed at me in front of the whole crew. And I was like, what the hell? And my friend Hunter McCann, who was with me on that set, he was like, yeah, I should have told you about her. He's like, you can't go on your own. You got to do everything she says, and then she'll compliment you. I've also worked with teams of older engineers who didn't want my suggestions, even though it was my set. And because of the structure of the shoot that we were doing, I kind of had to not say what we were doing, but sort of lead us gently to where we were going. Sometimes you've got to watch a terrible idea play itself all the way out before you can provide a solution. And that is a tough thing to do, but it's deeply satisfying.
Inception.
Inception?
You gotta incept it.
Oh yeah, you normally say you've got to incept it. You got to put it in their head. Let's see here. Oh yeah, HugoDahl says, "What is the most I can't believe that worked tool you made to fix another tool?" It wasn't to fix another tool, but I used to own Volkswagens. I used to have a Jetta. I had a couple of Jettas. And everybody out there who's owned Volkswagens knows the deep pleasure of what a marvelous driving machine Volkswagens can be. They're spectacular. I love driving them. Vergnügen it's no BS. Volkswagens are great cars. We've just been renting them lately on some trips. The Tiguan. Is that how you pronounce it? The Tiguan? I don't know. Anyway, I used to have Jettas. And if you've owned a Volkswagen and you do any car repair, you know that Volkswagen, unlike American cars are kind of amazing because if you get a model year of an American car, you can pretty much be guaranteed that a whole crap ton, like 95% of the parts from the next year and the previous year will work on that car. So there's a lot of cross-compatibility within American car manufacturing. Not so over at the Volkswagen factory, where every year they're like, hey, let's come up with a brand new way that windows wind down. Why, boss? That's the problem was solved 50 years ago. Nah, never mind. Let's stop using a lever and let's use cables to make our windows go up and down. Yeah, so I bought this Jetta and I got a really good deal on it because 2 of its windows weren't automatic anymore. And I thought, that's an easy fix. I've repaired a bunch of automatic windows, not realizing that the OEM part for a Jetta window was like $600 for each window. I found them on eBay for a lot cheaper, like $100 a piece, and repaired what ended up being 3 of my 4 Jetta windows. But that's, you asked about the I can't believe that worked tool. I had someone drive past my Jetta and knock the window off, knock the side view mirror off, and I had to put it back on. And the problem with putting it back on is that there was like this internal sprung nylon arrangement that there clearly was, upon inspecting and looking at the interface between how the mirror joined to the car, it was clear that there's this special tool that depressed 3 parts and held one while you turned it and then allowed these 2 parts to connect. And I came in here, and that piece of nylon bounced around for about 15 years. I came in here and machined an approximation of the OEM fix-it tool for installing that bloody side view mirror, and I got it to work. I was so mad at Volkswagen. I have cursed your engineers many times while working on those windows of my, what was it? It was probably like a 97 Jetta, something like that. Cables for windows. Ooh. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about Tested membership. The Tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from Tested and from YouTube. The Tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the Tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.